What have you learned from your audience feedback? One of the most significant things that I learned from my audience when doing my short film was to show them every single stage, and you will get back the answers that you want most of the time, as if you're intending your film for your target audience, they will give you back the answers that they want. I also learned that if you're unhappy with something, it's best to ask them. An example of this is I filmed and shot and edited all of my first film, and from the audience research I got back at the beginning when I was just doing my research and coming up with more ideas, the audience said that they'd find it a really, really good idea and it sounded like a really good film. Yet when I came to show it them once I'd produced it all, it wasn't what the audience had imagined it to be, and so they didn't like it very much, and me personally, I felt that I wasn't comfortable with it and that I could achieve something a lot more sophisticated. And so I went back to the drawing board, and it was when I watched Charlie St. Cloud that I thought, well, I don't want to do something that is the typical idea of having a girl and a boy meeting. I thought I wanted to do something a bit more out of the ordinary, which my target audience wouldn't have seen before. And so I played around with this idea of having two brothers, and I got some audience feedback for that, and they said that it'd be a lot more easy to film for my level of A-level media. As for the other film idea, I'd need to use a lot more locations because they were key to it, and really good actors, which obviously I didn't have the most amazing actors for that film, but I felt that my actors fitted perfectly for the role of the other film. As you can see from looking at all of my tasks, having the audience feedback has affected my whole coursework side of the A-level media course, as it made me go from one end of the spectrum to another with my film idea, and I'm really glad that audience feedback has proved to help me with my ideas. And I feel that with my final film idea, I've given the audience that gratification that they need, rather than just being a bit flimsy with what my idea is. From AS Media, I learned various ways of asking your audience what they think about the film and what they think about all your different ideas. But for this year, I chose to go with the simple idea of doing a one-to-one interview with various different people from my target audience. And I felt that this worked really well because you can get a real idea of what the person likes and what they dislike. Whereas if you do a focus group, for instance, people tend just to agree with what somebody else is saying rather than voicing their own opinion if it's something different to the other within the group. Another method I used of audience research was a questionnaire, and this was right at the beginning of my stages of doing research into my film idea. I found that this enabled me to get a general idea what my target audience thought about my film idea, and other little specific things, and this was where some people voiced their concern about the locations for my previous film idea, as they felt that it needed larger locations, as I said earlier. And so although my target audience had voiced their concerns earlier, the majority of people said that it was a good idea, and so I felt that I would go with the majority rather than the minority.